gagawin. So, that's all po, sir and classmates.
Okay, thank you, Miss Marhana. Very good. No? So, as I've said, probably you can use that in your final paper. No? Just remember that the questionnaire, no, must, if it is self-constructed, it must be pilot tested, and at the same time, it must also be validated by the experts. No? So again, thank you. Who's next?
Thank you po, sir.
Miss Adjerani, welcome. Who's next? Ray, are you ready?
Yes po, sir.
Alright.
Okay, sir.
You can
Wait lang po.
Okay.
Sir, good morning po. Ako po mag-report ako yung sa newer tools for evaluation. Last na lang, sir.
After kay Ray, you can come in.
After na lang, sir, na mga capstone para na.
I'm worried kasi 1 hour lang yata allowed
sige pa.
unless we create another link. Kay limited lang ang Zoom natin kasi free lang ito. So, probably after ni Ray, pag just be prepared and create another link. No? Para hindi tayo mapuno.
Okay po, sir. Mami, Chris, ikaw na bahala. Thank you.
So while waiting for Ray, no, I hope Monday, during the weekdays, Monday to, except for Tuesday, half day lang ako. Monday to Thursday, I'm in the school full day, no, except for Tuesday, half day lang. So probably during those times, you can come and let me, see your papers, no? And also reminders, dapat yung assignment natin o yung final output ninyo sa MSN 203, dapat may hard copy tayo niyan, no? Although soft bounded lang siya, and also yung capstone ninyo for MSN 204, hard copy pero lang yung nasa staple lang ninyo if ever, or you can use the plastic na anong tawag doon, folder ba yon? You can use that for your final output so that I will have basis for your grading, no? Kasi itong dalawang output na ito are your finals, no? Hindi na ako magbibigay ng exam. Okay, Ray, are you ready?
Sir?
Yes.
Sandali lang po. So you mean, sir, yung MSN 203 po, so softbound and hard copy. Bali, dalawa yung ipiprint namin, sir.
Hindi. Yung sa MSN 203, after checking or after I evaluate it, you can print it and have it like before we have.
Softbound.
Sa UPress, pinagawa ninyo ba yun?
Yes, sir. So yung MSN 204, sir, same lang din.
Pero hindi nyo ipababound.
Okay. So sa plastic folder na lang siya, sir.
Plastic folder lang yun kasi hindi pa man yun final. You are going to use it for your sa final nyo na sa INP if ever. No?
Okay. Noted, sir.
Use.
Thank you. Okay.
So, sir, pwede na ako mag-start?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, good morning everyone. Good morning, sir. I will be presenting my capstone po. The title of my capstone is Effectiveness of Community-Based Hypertension Screening Programs under the DOH program Puro Kalusugan Implementation po. So, first, sa background of the study, sa context of the problem. Hypertension remains a major public health concern globally and in the Philippines. So it affects approximately 1 in 3 Filipino adults. So contributing significantly to cardiovascular disease such as stroke and heart attack. So community-based screening programs have emerged as an effective strategy to address the gaps. So this program brings healthcare services closer to population, allowing early detection, monitoring, and management of the hypertension. So in response kasi in the Philippines or Philippine Department of Health implemented the Puro Kalusugan program, which delivers primary healthcare services including screening for chronic diseases like hypertension and other programs like sa HIV, pero nag-focus po ako sa hypertension kasi leading po to sa cause ng deaths, and may mga bata pa sa community, mataas na ang BP. So yung DOH kasi nag-conduct sila ng studies before na para effectively makadetect kaagad. So naisip nila itong Puro Kalusugan na program, which brings the services directly sa purok or sa barangay or pinaka clustered community sa isang barangay. Example, sa isang barangay may mga zone 1, zone 2 up to ilang zones merons or puroks. Doon po dinadala ang services. So not na siya basically antay na lang sa health center yung pasyente. Dinideliver na yung services directly sa bahay. Almost sa bahay na ng tao. So mas mabilis yung detection ng hypertension. So ang purpose ng study na to is to malaman kung effective ba siya. Yun po. So significance to nursing services evaluation. So this study is significant in evaluating nursing services because nurses and barangay health workers serve as the primary implementers of community-based hypertension screening programs, particularly under the initiative of a DOH Puro Kalusugan program. So it assesses the effectiveness of nursing-led interventions, including blood pressure monitoring, health education, and follow-up care. Yun. Then, setting description. The study is conducted in selected barangays implementing the DOH Puro Kalusugan. Currently kasi, mostly ng mga barangay, 96, 98 barangay sa Zamboanga City. Half of that is may assign po na NDP kagaya ko is a Nursing Deployment Project Program, nurse po. So each barangay na may NDP is meron talaga na purok site or na-establish na ng PK program doon. So pwede lang po ako mag-choose sa mga kasama ko kung para gawin yung study na to para makakuha ng data. Then punta po tayo sa problem statement ko. So main research question is how effective are community-based hypertension screening program under the DH Puro Kalusugan implementation in improving hypertension detection and control. So sub-problem is what is the level of hypertension detection before and after program implementation? What is the level of blood pressure control among identified patients? How effective are nursing interventions in improving patient adherence? What are the challenges encountered in program implementation? Is there a significant difference in health outcomes after participations in the program? Then, objective of the study, general objective is to determine the effectiveness of community-based hypertension screening program under the DOH Puro Kalusugan program. Specific objectives: to assess the rate of hypertension detection in the community, to evaluate changes in blood pressure levels of participants, to determine patient adherence to treatment and lifestyle modification, to assess the role of nurses and BHW in program implementation, and to identify barriers and facilitators in program delivery. So we have the RRL, the review of related literature. So as Ma'am Merhama told, na importante po ito para mas strength yung ano natin yung study. So may international studies din ako dito and yung local. So under the international studies, community-based intervention using health workers have been shown significant improvement in hypertension outcomes. So a randomized controlled trial among Filipinos population demonstrate that community health workers interventions improve blood pressure control and patient adherence compared to the standard care. So similar programs based on structures health model, this is by Proceed, this resulted in a significant reduction in systolic and diastolic blood pressure and improve adherence to treatment. So international studies further support the effectiveness of community-based hypertension program. So a randomized controlled trial by URSUA among Filipino-American demonstrate the community health workers led interventions significantly improved blood pressure control with 83.3% of participants achieving controlled blood pressure compared to 42.7 in the control group. So this highlights the effectiveness of community-based strategy in improving hypertension outcomes. So sa local din studies, in the Philippines, the Community Health Assessment Program has been proven effective in reducing hypertension risk throughout primary healthcare intervention and community engagement. So more on health centers lang po to rin. So the DH Purok Kalusugan program also emphasizes preventing care and screening for non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, strengthening primary care delivery at the grassroots level. So yun po yung RL ko, both local and international po. So punta tayo next sa wait lang po. Conceptual and theoretical anchoring. So this study is anchored on the three key theoretical and conceptual framework that guides the understanding of patient behavior. Community engagement and healthcare quality. First, we have the health belief model. It explains how individuals' health-related behaviors are influenced by perceived sustainability to hypertension, perceived severity or condition, and perceived benefits of engagement in preventive actions such as regular blood pressure screening and adherence to treatment. This model supports the idea that increasing awareness toward community-based education can motivate individuals to participate in screening programs and adopt healthier behaviors. Second, the community-based participatory approach emphasizes the active involvement of community members, local leaders, and health workers in planning and implementation of healthcare intervention. This approach ensures that the program like the DH Puro Kalusugan are culturally appropriate, acceptable, and responsive to the actual needs of the community. So, thereby improving participation and sustainability. Lastly, the Donavidian model, structured process outcome. So, provides a framework for evaluating the quality and effectiveness of healthcare services by examining the resources available, the activities carried out, and the resulting health outcomes. Yun po. So, ito yung conceptual framework na ano ko sa Donavidian model. Simple lang po talaga siya, structure, process, and outcomes. Then we'll go to the methodology. So the study will utilize a quasi-experimental research design, employing a pre-test, post-test approach to evaluate the effectiveness of community-based hypertension screening program. Wherein outcomes are measured before and after the implementation of the intervention. So this design is appropriate for community settings where Randomization is not feasible but changes over time can still be assessed. So the population will consist of adult age 18 years and above residing in selected barangays implementing the DOH program, puro kalusugan. So a purposive sampling technique will be used to select participants who meet the inclusion criteria while the sample size will be determined based on the total population of the community and feasible consideration. Hello? Narinig pa ba?
Yes po, yes po.
Yes po.
Go ahead.
Okay. Data will be collected using validated instruments, including the blood pressure monitoring device, a structured questionnaire covering demographic profile, knowledge and treatment adherence, and standard screening forms provided by the DHO program. So dito may part ako ng DOH na screening tool na gamit maliban pa dun sa ginawa ko for the study. So yun po. So the data gathering procedure will begin with securing a formal permission from the Department of Health, which is saan ako nag-work. Then also in the local government units, which is the barangay. Then followed by identification and recruitment of eligible participants. So baseline blood pressure measurement will be obtained prior to the implementation of the screening and health education intervention. Subsequently, the program will be carried out through community-based screening, health teaching, and monitoring, after which follow-up assessment will be conducted to evaluate changes in the participants' blood pressure and adherence behavior. So all collected data will be recorded, organized, and analyzed using appropriate statistical method. So ethical consideration also will be strictly observed throughout the study, including the acquisition of informed consent, assurance of confidentiality and anonymity, and obtaining approval from recognized ethics review board participants. So, right, the participants' rights, dignity, and autonomy will be respected at all times in accordance with established ethical guidelines for human subject research. Then, i-share ko lang po sa inyo yung evaluation tool. Wait lang po ha. So, everyone, ito po yung evaluation tool na structured to. So, pero prior to yun nga sabi ni Ma'am Meramat ni Sir, kailangan daw for pilot muna testing, then meron kailangan ng evaluation tawag dun, to consult pa sa experts like municipal officer or medical officer pala, sorry. Yung doktor, ganyan. So, ito po yung evaluation tool questionnaire ko. So, instruction, please answer the following question honestly. Your response will be kept confidential. Put check or fill in the blank where appropriate. So, yung first part, yung demographic profile, yun, makikita nyo yung hiningi age, sex, civil status, education, attainment, and occupation. Yung part 2, siya yung yung hinahanap ko para ma-answer yung sub-problem number 1 ko. So hypertension detection. So pre and post program to. So yun, makikita nyo dyan. Next, we have is the part 3 blood pressure control. So ito, sinasagot niya yung sub-problem number 2 ko. Yan. Then we have part 4 is nursing intervention and adherence. So, makikita nyo kung paano niya sasagot to. Rate the following using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, from strongly disagree up to strongly agree. Then next is the part 5, which is answer more research question for the sub-problem number 5. Then part 6 is challenges encountered. Ito, sinasagot niya yung sub-problem number 4 ko po. Then part 7, health outcome changes, pre versus post. Sinasagot niya yung sub-problem number 5 ko po. Then lastly is open-ended question. What suggestion can you give to improve the program? So basic kung anong pwedeng ilagay ng participant natin. So ito yung scoring guide for the Likert scale. Mas makikita nyo. Tapos yung alignment summary. Then explanation ng questionnaire. So, yun po, Sir Ferdy. Okay na po ako.
Very good.
Sir,
Yes, Miss Pedro.
we have the same with Sir Lobaton po, hypertension. Pero different po yung namin target and research proposal. Okay lang sir.
Ano yung sa iyong title mo?
Ang title ko, sir, the gap between the level of awareness and the adherence po sa medication.
Okay. You can use that. No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Who is going to report? Miss
Yes, sir.
You may start now.
Okay po, sir. Wait lang. Okay po, sir. Kita na, sir, no? Okay po. Hold on. Ano ba to? Ayun. So, wait lang, sir. Wait lang. Oops. And then, okay. So, yes, this is for the newer tools. Good morning, everyone. And sorry nga lang magre-report. So this is the newer tools for evaluation and AI-generated. So I'll be focusing on AI-generated assessment tools. And so just an introduction. Artificial intelligence or AI is rapidly changing how we evaluate learning and performance. So alam naman natin yon. The traditional methods like exams and manual grading are now being supported by AI tools that can generate questions, provide instant feedback, and analyze results. So much easier siya, kumbaga. These tools make evaluations faster, more personalized, and more efficient. However, they also raise concerns about ethics, bias, and fairness. So I'll talk about it later. I mean, the latter part of this report. So AI-generated evaluation tools are digital systems that use artificial intelligence to assist in creating, administering, and analyzing assessments. Also, unlike traditional assessment methods, AI tools are designed to be adaptive and responsive, so they can adjust the difficult of questions, identify learning gaps, and offer personalized recommendation. So common types of AI generated evaluation tools include questions generators, automated grading systems, writing assistants, and learning analytic platforms. So what are the types of AI evaluation? We have the generative AI tools. The generative AI tools, which can create questions. This is a common type one, which can create questions, quizzes, and even full assessments based on given topics or learning materials. So these tools are useful for quickly producing a variety of test items and practicing exercise. The other one is automated grading system. So these tools use AI to assess the student responses, especially in multiple choices, short answer, and even essay formats. So they help reduce the time and effort required for the teacher or for the professors and or whoever those giving the assessments um, for manual grading while maintaining consistency. So third would be AI writing and feedback assistance. If you're familiar with Gemini AI, that's the best example for the AI writing and feedback assistance. So these are also widely used. They analyze written work and provide suggestions on grammar, structure, clarity, and coherence. So this supports both evaluation and improvement of student outputs. And I'm actually a heavy user of Gemini AI. So in addition, we have adaptive assessment platforms. That adjust the difficulty of questions based on a learner's performance. So this allows for a more personalized evaluation experience as the students are assessed according to their individual skills level. And last but not the least, the learning analytics tools. So these tools or these AI tools collect and analyze data on student performance. So these tools provide insights into learning patterns, strengths, and weaknesses, helping educators make informed decisions and improvement structure. So since meron na tayong types of AI, meron naman akong example. So the famous one, which is the ChatGPT, I know we are a heavy user of this. Actually, hindi lang ChatGPT, meron pang locally, I think it's Dola, ba pa, ganon, pa, locally ata yun, something. So which can generate questions. Um, I'm a heavy user because I'm a actually virtual assistant. So I assist. I'm a not just with not just with our program. I mean, not just with our education. Ha, sir, disclaimer lang po. Heavy user ako because I assist doctors in the United States, which they conduct real time visits like appointment tapos andun ako tapos kumbaga parang ako yung nagte-take note kung ano yung discussion nila both patient and providers. So that's what I meant for a heavy user, Gemini AI, ChatGPT, something like that. So which can generate again ChatGPT, which can generate questions, create rubrics, and provide feedback on student work. It is flexible and can be used by both teachers and students for assessment and self-evaluation. So the other example is an AI-assisted grading platform. It helps educators grade assignments quickly by grouping similar answers and applying consistent feedback. It also provides performance analytics, making it easier to track student progress. The Grammarly Go, ito ginagamit ko for like grammar correcting. An AI writing that evaluates written work by checking grammar, yes, and clarity and structure, and it gives real-time feedback, so helping improve writing, also supporting the assessment. So, um, next would be the Quiz Gecko. You should try this one. Maganda to. That automatically generates quizzes from text, documents, or learning materials. It supports multiple questions types and provides insights into student performance, making it useful for both formative and summative assessments. So the other tool is EduAid.ai, which helps educators create assessments, lesson materials, and rubrics aligned with learning objectives. It allows customization of difficulty levels and formats, making evaluation more flexible and targeted. Medyo complicated tong si EduAid AI. The last is the Socrative and Cogni I. This support interactive and open-ended assessments. Socrative allows real-time quizzes and instant feedback, while Cogni evaluates written responses and provides personalized guidance to improve critical thinking. So, what are the benefits of AI evaluation tools? Of course, efficiency. Efficiency because all AI generated evaluation tools several offer several advantages that improve both teaching and learning process, right? So, yung efficiency, these tools can automate like tasks such as grading, question generation, and feedback. Second is consistency and accuracy. So AI systems apply the same criteria when evaluating student work, like reducing the chances of human error, so or bias in grading. Third would be the personalized learning. They can analyze individual performance and provide tailored feedback, so helping learners understand their strengths and for areas to improvement. So that's the first personalized learning. So the fourth one is real-time feedback, which we allow the students to immediately see their results and make corrections. So this promotes like continual learnings and help them reinforce concepts more effectively. And last but not the least, the data-driven decision making. Through learning analytics, the educators can track the educators can track progress, like identify trends and adjust their teaching strategies based on the students' needs. So more on parang feedback din siya for the one who is giving the test or giving the exams. So of course we have challenges. Ito yung sinasabi na kanina na parang bias daw. So academic, let's all admit that we do have the academic integrity. So since AI tools can generate answers, essays, and solutions, there is a risk that students may misissue them, making it difficult to ensure originality in assessments. And second is bias in AI system. So this is a concern um, because AI tools are trained on large data sets. So if these data sets contain bias, the evaluation results may also be unfair or inaccurate. This can affect the quality and fairness of student assessment. Yun ang cons niya, kumbaga. So next would be the lack of transparency, of course. It's also a challenge because many AI systems function as black boxes, meaning educators may not fully understand how results or grades are generated. So this can reduce trust in automated evaluation system. So number four would be, or additionally would be, the over reliance on technology. Some of us, me, depending too much on AI tools may reduce the role of human judgment in assessment and limit critical thinking and evaluation. But we still need to apply the human decency, kumbaga, parang to um, think outside of the box and also not to rely more on this technology because yun nga, parang na-overpower na tayo ng mga AI ngayon. So last but not the least, the ethical and privacy concerns. So it must be considered because AI tools often collect and analyze large amounts of data, student data, raising questions about data security, consent, and responsible use. That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you, Miss Mujani.
Welcome, sir. I-consult ko na lang po ang capstone ko, sir, sa Monday.
Okay, ha? I will be available Monday whole day, Tuesday half day lang ako, and then Wednesday, Thursday. Friday and Saturday wala kami sa school, no? Because we have the 4 working days lang sa school, and then yun na nga, no? We have the Saturday classes online. Okay. So any other questions? Miss Pedro? Okay ka na dun sa
Yes,
report
sir.
mo? Sa capstone mo?
Okay lang po, sir.
Mm.
Ay, nalaw magpakalit.
How about Montuno?
Ay, na magpahulit si lecture.
That's my sister-in-law there, no? Dr. Sadrina.
Hello po.
Yes? How about you, Miss Montuno?
I-present ko lang, sir, yung draft, sir, ng ano ko, capstone.
Ngayon or you want it personal muna?
Ah,
Ikaw? Hmm?
di
So-
ngayon na lang, sir.
Oh, sige, go on. Well, hindi pa tayo napuputol.
Good morning po, everyone. So, the title of my capstone project is Compliance with Documentation Standards and Evaluation of Existing Protocols on Addressing Pending Paper-Based Medical Charts in a Selected Tertiary Hospital in Zamboanga City. So, for the introduction, accurate and complete patient documentation is a fundamental component of safe and quality healthcare delivery. In hospital settings, patient charts serve as a primary communication tool among healthcare professionals, ensuring continuity of care, legal protection, and evaluation of healthcare services. In the Philippines, documentation remains largely paper-based due to limited resources, infrastructural constraints, and gradual adoption of electronic health records. However, this presents persistent challenges in maintaining complete and timely patient charts, often associated with delays in chart completion, missing entries, illegible handwriting, and uncoordinated documentation. Pending or incomplete charts continue to be a recurring issue, compromising patient safety and affecting continuity of care, legal compliance, and hospital accreditation standards. So, hospitals have implemented various institutional policies and protocols to address these problems, such as chart audits, compliance monitoring, penalties for repeated documentation backlogs, and continuing education programs for staff designed to ensure proper documentation. But despite this, compliance among healthcare providers remains inconsistent. Factors such as high workload, staffing shortages, time constraints, lack of accountability, and inefficient charting systems contribute to delays and documentation lapses. So, what is the significance to nursing service evaluation? Incomplete charting reflects not only individual performance, but also systematic issues within nursing services and hospital operations. Evaluating the effectiveness of existing documentation protocols is essential to determine whether they are practical, enforceable, and aligned with actual clinical workflows. So this study is significant in identifying gaps between policy and practice and will provide evidence-based recommendations to strengthen documentation protocols, improve compliance, and enhance the quality of patient care. So for the setting, the study will be conducted in a selected tertiary hospital in Zamboanga City utilizing a paper-based documentation system. The hospital includes various departments such as inpatient wards, intensive care units, and outpatient services where the patient charting is routinely performed by the healthcare team. So for the main research question, how effective are the existing hospital protocols in addressing the persistent problem with pending medical charts in a paper-based documentation system? For the sub-problems, specifically, this study aims to answer the following questions. Number one, what is the current level of compliance with documentation protocols in the selected hospital? And how do healthcare providers perceive these protocols? What are the common factors contributing to pending charts, and what challenges are encountered in their implementation? And then lastly, what evidence-based strategies can be proposed to improve the compliance with documentation protocols in the selected hospital? So I chose this topic po kasi ito po kasi talaga yung common na nakikita ko from my previous work sa isang hospital and up until now sa isang hospital din is pending charts talaga kasi yun talaga yung mahirap na mag-improve. So, tambak-tambak po talaga yung charts sa station. So, what are the objectives? The general objective is this study aims to evaluate the effectiveness of existing protocols in addressing pending medical charts in a selected tertiary hospital in Zamboanga City and to propose evidence-based recommendations for quality improvement. For the specific objectives, this is to assess the level of completeness of patient charts, to determine the degree of adherence to documentation protocols, to identify factors contributing to pending charts and challenges encountered in protocol implementation, to evaluate healthcare providers' perceptions of current protocols, and to recommend strategies for improving documentation practices. Sa literature review po, pa lang to siya, hindi pa siya polished talaga kasi naghanap pa po ako more on local reviews. So in the Philippine context, studies reveal that incomplete documentation is prevalent in hospitals using manual charting systems. Factors contributing to this issue include heavy workload, nurse-to-patient ratios, lack of time, and insufficient training on documentation standards. Additionally, poorly designed forms and unclear documentation policies further complicate compliance. So, eto, long existing problem na to here in the Philippines since we use paper-based. That's why mas better sana kapag electronic health record na. And then, according to the Department of Health, it emphasizes that accurate documentation as part of quality assurance and patient safety, yet implementation gaps remain evident in many institutions. Philippine hospital audits have also shown that compliance with documentation standards is inconsistent, particularly in busy wards where nurses prioritize direct patient care over documentation tasks. International literature supports that paper-based systems are prone to inefficiencies, including missing entries, illegible handwriting, especially sa doctors, and delayed documentation. And then studies also indicate that unclear or overly complex protocols reduce compliance among healthcare providers. So lalo na kapag sa erasure, so pagod talaga mag-rewrite ka pa ulit. And then research by Johnson found that structured documentation protocols and regular audits significantly improve chart completeness. However, success depends on proper training, leadership support, and system usability. So both local and international studies highlight a consistent gap between documentation policies and actual practice. So while protocols exist, their effectiveness is limited by systematic, organizational, and human factors. So this underscores the need for continuous evaluation and improvement of documentation policies. Hanggang dun pa lang po, sir, yung nagawa ko. Bali yung methodology and conceptual framework ko po, draft pa lang po talaga. Pero the study will be anchored on Donavidian model and evidence-based practice po. Tapos for my methodology, I will be using a descriptive evaluative research design po.
Okay. That's a good, study. So, I recommend if you're going to, for your final INP, you can use that as your final paper. So, let's give Hannah a big hand.
Thank you po, sir.
So, any other concerns? Yes?
Documentation. Nice yung topic ni Ma'am Hana kasi marami talaga, sir, nagkakaroon pa rin ng error sa documentation.
That's the truth, no, on the ground. Kasi remember also, I for previous years I was also a bedside nurse or clinical instructor, no, and one of those things I hate is that chart, no. Mahirap maano. And of course, mention naman ni Miss Monto, no, na part of this problem stems from what? The inadequacies of staffing, which as I've said, we are now evaluating the services in the nursing profession, no? So align yung topics ninyo. So I'm very thankful na almost lahat ng topics na ginagawa ninyo are aligned with our MSN 204. So any other concerns? Charis, ano man, Miss Darawi, Al-Wajir, I did not hear from you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm still working on my topic, sir. Actually, I gave some topics, sir, but I'm not sure if I will proceed with that. But I'm focusing right now, sir, on most probably, sir, on improving the ER workflow, sir, in my in the hospital where I'm working. So I might go on those in that topic, sir. What is your opinion, sir? Can you give me some opinion?
I think it's a good start, no? But remember, the acceptance, especially for the old, what is this? You will have a resistance, no? But that is a challenge that you have to face on, no? Anyway, probably with your study, this will enlighten them, no? Especially if it will be published, no? So go on. I encourage you to pursue that topic.
Hopefully, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Because I see the problem, sir, in this ER workflow, sir. Maano talaga, sir, mahirap yung sir, mahirap talaga yung patient care, mahirap yung pagbibigay ng care sa patient kasi napakabagal ng system. So sana may input akong makita. Opo, yung process talaga, sir. So it aligns with the Donavidian, sir, maybe. But my challenges maybe, sir, more on the structure because we cannot control the structure, sir, the staffing, the mga computers, lahat ng mga kailangan para sa Pero anyway, sir, I will try my best, sir, to come up with a good study, sir, in this matter, sir.
This is the reason why you do the study, probably to open their mind or to enlighten them. So probably with the results of your study, it will, if it is, it will be taken well or it will open their minds, no? Probably
Yes, sir.
change.
Yes, sir. You're right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay.
Welcome. So any other concerns? Jerani? Working si Jerani? Okay. Okay. So if others can consult on physically on Monday and the rest of the days, no? So if there's no much, okay, let's pause for a while. And
Sir Fred,
yes,
can I ask?
yes.
Sir, can we have the final deadline, sir, of this output, sir, so that we can also prepare ourselves, sir? Thank you.
For a while. I will message you because I have to see the calendar of activities namin, no? So,
Okay, sir. Okay.
but for sure, malapit-lapit na, no? So,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I will just upload it in our GC just to
Okay, sir. Thank you.
confirm final dates.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay? If there are none, so let's end it here. Thank you very much for attending the class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, po.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir.